Hi, everybody. Welcome in. I hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday and staying cool. It is very hot. It is so hot. I think it's hot everywhere. I don't know, but I am very, very thankful for air conditioning. It is hot. It is humid. It is kind of gross. You go outside and everything starts to sweat, even like the backs of your knees. It's rough. Oh, it's terrible. But we get to hang out inside, thankfully. Isn't it nice to have a job where you work inside? For those of you, I found my robot, by the way. Just that's what that was. For those of you who have to work outside, oh my gosh, or you have a family member that works outside, please be checking up on them and making sure that they are staying hydrated because it's rough. It is rough. Hi, Anita. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Gina. Robin is here. Teresa is here. Cindy's here. Everybody is in the house. I'm so happy to see everybody. Hi, Sandy. Maybe some gentle stretches. I find him in the drawer. I put him back on his little skateboard and he has not stopped talking since. And it's funny because Ari was like, Mom, you know you're just going to put him back in the drawer again. Yeah, I know. He just won't stop talking. Hi, Mary. Hi, Cindy. All right, so let's get into all the things, shall we? It is a holiday week here in the States, and that doesn't really change anything for my schedule. I still have all of the same things. Hope you're relaxing and enjoying some well-deserved fun. I'm going to put him in the drawer. You be quiet. Okay. Should have done that ahead of time. What was I saying? Oh, the holiday does not change anything for my schedule. I know that Friday is the official holiday. However, my family is not celebrating the holiday until Saturday. So I will still be doing a Feel Good Friday show at 1 p.m. on Friday. I will also still be doing my 4 p.m. Eastern live over on artbeats.com. So nothing is going to be changing for me. You guys are still going to get all the things. So if you were looking forward to the live on Friday and afraid that it wasn't going to happen, it's still happening. So just so you know, everything is going to just continue as normal. And I'll just celebrate on Saturday instead. So let's see what to tell you guys. Hardwired is open for enrollment because it is July 1st. And that means that you've got a little bit of time. If you would like to come and join Hardwired, we would so much love to have you be a member of Hardwired. Hardwired is our learning community where we focus on building our techniques from our basic skills. So if you have mastered your simple loops, wrapped loops, simple stringing, simple knotting, and things like that, and are ready to move on and progress in your skills, or you've already done all of that and you know how to do extra things, but you just want to hang out in a group where we really focus on some upper level beginner to intermediate style projects, then I would love for you to come and be a part of Hardwired. That is what we focus on there. We focus on wire weaving today. We are doing a looming project. We've done some advanced stringing, some advanced macrame. So we do a little bit of everything there. Don't be put off by the name being Hardwired because we really do a little bit of everything there, but we do things that are more advanced than the live projects that we do here in the regular community. So I'd love for you to come and be a part of that. If you'd like to be a Patreon subscriber, Patreon is open for enrollment anytime. It does not have to be in a certain window. You can sign up anytime you want to with just a couple of clicks, and you can be a Facebook user, YouTube user, Instagram user, doesn't matter. Anybody is welcome from anywhere in the entire world. You will get at least 3 additional projects from me a month if you are a Patreon subscriber. Those projects you will not see anywhere else. You won't see those on Facebook or YouTube. They are exclusive to Patreon members only. I've got one ready to go to film here later on and upload. So yeah. It's a lot of fun. Those projects are based on things I already have in my stash. So like the project for this week is just a simple stringing project. It's just a string, like a strung necklace and a strung bracelet, but I'm using beads that I've literally been sitting on forever and haven't been using. And my reason for Patreon projects is to inspire you and encourage you to use the same things that you've got in your stash that you bought and then just sat on the shelf somewhere or put in a box or put in a baggie and you never used them. And I encourage you to use those in your own creation. So Patreon's a lot of fun if you would love to come and be a part of that. All right, so now that we've got the housekeeping out of the way, let's get into what is going on for today's project, shall we? All right, so we are doing a bracelet project today. This is a goddess style bracelet. We haven't done this in a very, very long time. I was actually looking back. It's been, I think, about 2 years since we've done this style of project. So I thought, you know what, this is a fun and easy one. Let's bring it back and do it for a fun holiday week. If you are looking to create some fun jewelry that's easy, this is a good one. We're going to be using the tying station, but if you don't have one, that's okay. You can use a macrame board. You can use your Naughty Do-It-All board. You could even use a clipboard or a safety pin to safety pin it down, even tape. Okay, so half of it's already done. I'm going to do the other half of it together. We're going to make it adjustable. I'm going to show you a finished one, and then I'm going to show you the one that's halfway done, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's get turned around and get right into it, shall we? All right. So let me lift you up just a little bit. We'll get right into things. So this is the one that I finished. So this is the finished sample right here. So I had this really cute little palm tree connector. You can see it's got 2 loops on either side. You don't have to use a connector for this, but I like having a connector in the middle. It just kind of breaks things up a little bit, but you don't have to do that. You can do this as a solid all the way around project if you wanted to, but you can see it is square. It's part of a square knot. I'm going to explain it all to you if you've never done this before, but what it creates is this really cute little chevron pattern with your cord. I'm using some Chinese knotting cord for this, but you can use literally anything, okay? You can use whatever style cord you want, whatever kind of beads you want, put your connector in the middle or not. You could, you know, use like a donut, which I think is what we used in the previous project a couple years ago. So you have a lot of options with this one. And I think it's a fun one. It's pretty easy to do. And I think everybody will enjoy learning how to do this, because you could then turn around and make like ankle bracelets. You could make little earrings. You could do this in little sections and add it to other bigger pieces of jewelry. So it's pretty fun. So this is the finished one. I'm using size 6 seed beads. But again, use whatever you want to with this. My cord is 1mm cord. All right, so I'm going to show you how to create that. So for this one, the one that I have started, I'm using a little tiara cast link that I have had sitting around for a while, and I'm changing up my beads by using different colors instead of just the solid colors, but I'm still using the 1mm cord for this. So one side's already done. We're going to do the other side together. Okay. So to get started, what we are going to do is, as I mentioned, we're going to use our tying station. Mine is always dirty and dusty. But we're going to be using our tying station to create our project. And I'm actually going to use the foam part of my tying station. You guys have the foam piece that goes on your tying station. But a lot of people lose it or don't really know what to do with it. I'm going to show you what it's for. So this little guy can replace this one with the foam, which means that you can put down your work and put the foam over it, right? And you don't have to worry about cracking or destroying your work with the hard acrylic plate. So this one is mushy and it will protect your work. You just smush it down on top of your piece. And then you're going to put on the washer and the wing nut. Oops, I didn't thread that wing nut on there correctly. Hold on. Takes a lot to push that down. The foam is a little stiff, but my goodness. My wing nut does not want to thread. I don't know why. Let's swap it out for another one. Weird, right? I just have like random wing nuts sitting around. See, this one thread perfectly. I don't know what's wrong with the other one. Okay. So you're going to thread that down if you have already finished half of this. If you haven't already finished half of this, you can still do this by putting your little connector underneath here if you want to, or hooking it on with another piece of cord or whatever works. But just get your little connector stable, okay? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 pieces of cord here. The cord, as I mentioned, is 1 millimeter, and I am going to use about 14 inches of that. Now, if you're going to do a full bracelet without a connector in the middle, you probably want to double that, okay, to make your entire length. But for me, since I'm only doing half from the connector over, then 2 pieces that are about 14 inches long is exactly what we need. We're going to take those and we're going to thread those through the loop on our connector. And we're going to bring those together, find the ends. All right, now I want to separate these out. I'm going to lower this down so you can see. So I'm going to separate these, one on one side and one on the other. So have those separated out. Okay, 2 cords. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my right-handed cords, and I'm going to thread my beads onto both of these cords. Now, that's why I'm using size 6 seed beads, because they have a nice large hole on them, and I know that both cords will fit through the hole on that bead. And I'm going to thread on, I think 10 beads, might be 11. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out here in a minute. If your cord starts to fray, let me show you what you can do. So this is meltable cord. I'll get it hot and then pull it. Hold on. That was not a very good example. If you melt it and pull it out, see how it'll pull a little melted tip? That can be really, really helpful. Number one, to keep it from fraying, but also you can use that little tip to thread it. But you have to pull it while it's melting. It doesn't always work. Sometimes I'm not fast enough. I let it get cooled down too fast. Sometimes I can pull it and it'll make like a really long, see these that I'm pulling off of it? I wish they had stayed on, but that's okay. I still have nice little tips that are probably not going to fray anymore. So now I can easily thread my beads on. All right, so I'm using some seed beads that I'll show you guys. It's this mix I got from Art Beads. It's a real pretty mix. So I'm using 4 different colors, and I'm just creating a little pattern here. So I'm doing purple, blue, pink, and green. So there's purple. Yeah, occasionally I set some things on fire. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've set anything on fire. I have, though. And there were about 200 people watching when it happened. That was quite entertaining. I've done a lot of crazy things during lives. A lot of funny accidents. That one was definitely one you guys have never let me live down, because I made it all the way to the end of that project, and then I set that thing on fire and it burned it right into 2 pieces, and it was like, well, project over. At that point, there was nothing else I could do. It was just like, well, it is what it is. Okay, so let's count our beads here, because there's not a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've got 11 beads on my 2 strands, and then I need to put 11 beads on the other 2 strands as well. So I'm going to melt, try to pull out. There, that one looks good. Let's see if I can do the other one. Oh, yeah, that one looks really good. See how I pulled the cord out? It's just, it kind of just makes it a little bit easier because it's like it gives it a little needle kind of tip. All right, so now I'm going to change my pattern up a little bit. I'm using the same beads, but I'm alternating my pattern just a tiny bit. So I'm starting with the pink this time, and I'm going to do pink, green, purple, and blue. That way, when my two beads are sitting next to each other, one on that, there no two beads of the same color are going to sit side by side. So if you're using different colors, whereas with this one, it didn't matter, right? Because they were all the same color, but for this one, each bead will be different and no two will sit side by side. All right. Once we get all of the beads thread onto this, we're going to secure these two ends under the plate on the bottom of my tying station. Now, if you're not using a tying station, then just secure your other ends somehow to keep your beads from falling off the ends of your cords. You definitely don't want to go through all of this process and then lose your beads. That's no fun. So tape is a nice option, or something like that will definitely be helpful. You can even tie a knot in the end if you wanted to. All right, so there are my beads. So now when I put my beads together, you can see no two colors are next to each other. Okay. Now I'm going to come down here to, the other side of my tying station and bring my two cords together, or my four cords together. And I'm going to secure those underneath the plate on my tying station. Guys, you can do this with B-Lon, S-Lon, nylon cord. You can do this with monofilament. You can do this with, what else can you do this with? You can do this with hemp. You can do it with just about anything. Okay, so if you don't have this Chinese knotting cord, that's okay. Use something else, right? The S-Lon works really, really nicely. All right, so moving my beads down. And now we're going to focus on getting our other cord secure up here. So I used two 14-inch strands of cord to make my core with my beads. Now you need to double that. So whatever your length is, if you're making an entire bracelet, you use two pieces that were 28 inches long. With your knotting cord, you need to double the length. Okay, so mine is 28 inches. And I am going to find the middle of my 28 inches of cord, and I'm going to take that and put that underneath all of the cords here. Okay. And I'm going to tie one square knot. Now, this is not all about square knots. This is just how we are going to start this. So I'm going to do a P shape on the right that comes over the top of my core, which is all four of these cords. And then I'm going to take my left cord that will cross over that out here on the edge, and then it will go behind and up through my P shape on the right. And I will pull. And when I pull, I want to push that up as close to my little connector as I can get it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the left, backwards P shape. Right cord crosses over that and goes behind and up through. And then pull. That is the only full square knot we're going to do until we get to the end. Okay. Now we're going to change things up a little bit. So you know how a square knot happens in two steps, right? So you do the right and then you do the left. Well, we're still going to do that, but we're not going to do them together. So let me show you what I mean. First thing we're going to do is we are going to slide a bead up all the way up. So I'm sliding a bead up on the right. That means that whichever side you slide a bead up, that's where you're going to do your P shape or your backwards P shape. Okay. So I did a bead on the right, which means I'm going to do a P shape on the right over the top of my core. My left cord crosses over and goes behind and up through. And then I'm going to pull, and I'm going to pull really, really snug. Really snug. Okay? And that's it. I'm not going to do the left side. Not yet. I'm going to slide a bead up on the left side. When I slide a bead up on the left side, that means I do the left side of my square knot. So I'm doing my backwards P shape. Right cord crosses over, goes behind, and up through. And pull. And again, pulling really, really tight, pushing everything up. And you can see how it creates the chevron or that zigzag, right? Okay, so lower you down a little bit. Now we're going to the right. So I'm sliding a bead up on the right. That means I'm going to do my P shape on the right. The left cord crosses over, goes behind, and up through, and pull. Pull tight. Okay. Slide up a bead on the left. Now you're going to do your P shape, or your backwards P shape on the left. Okay. Right cord crosses over, goes behind, and up through. So we are essentially creating square knots, but we're breaking the square knot up with adding beads. And what it ends up creating is this little chevron. Okay. Sliding a bead up on the right. That means our P shape goes on the right. P shape. Left cord crosses over, goes behind and up through, and pull. Bead on the left. Now we do our backwards P shape on the left. Right cord crosses over, goes behind, up through, and pull. Okay. So we're just alternating. One on the right, right P shape, left cord crosses over, behind and up through, and pull. Well, thank you, Renee. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Ari. I think it's pretty too. I really do. I like it a lot. And when you, just a couple of things here. So when you do this with thinner cord, obviously you're going to get a thinner chevron. But if you do this with smaller beads, so you kind of have to be careful because obviously you need your cord to be able to fit through your beads. But when you do this in a smaller capacity with like smaller beads, the chevron, see how my beads are sticking out on the edge? Sort of like peyote, right? My beads are sticking out. With smaller beads, they don't stick out nearly as much, and it really gives this like zigzaggy pattern. But the problem that I have is obviously finding beads that are big enough to accommodate my cord, but without doing that poking out. I kind of like it. I mean, it does. I think it's cute, right? It's cute. So it doesn't bother me, but playing around with your different sizes of beads, you're going to get some really interesting looking results. So, all right, sliding up a bead on the left, which means our P shape, or our backwards P shape will be on the left. The right cord will cross over that out here on the side, and then it'll go behind the core and up through our backwards P shape. Peyote is Ari's favorite. she said peyote, getting ideas, right? You definitely could start some peyote off the sides of this if you wanted to. I don't know what it would look like or why you would want to, but you never know. I mean, get super creative here. Okay. You definitely want to be sure that you're pulling your beads tight, and then every once in a while, I'm kind of pushing on them to snug them all up. Okay. Bead on the left. Backwards P shape, right cord crosses over, goes behind and up through. Pull. Bead on the right.
Hey now.
No, that's enough. Cooper. Cooper, he doesn't want your toy. My goodness. Furry toddlers. I'm telling you, furry toddlers. That's what we have. I think I may have messed my pattern up, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter that much. As long as two colors are not side by side. See how close together these pink ones are? There should have been a little bit of difference in there, but that's okay. It's all right. It's all good. You'll never notice in the grand scheme of things. All right, so this is pretty much it. We're just going to keep going until we add our beads, and it's really easy to remember if you walk away where you're at, because wherever your next bead goes is the same side that you do your P or your backwards P on. So if you slide up on your left, or like, let's say you walk away and you're like, okay, well, my last bead was on the right. That means I'm ready to add a bead on the left. And that means my P shape, my backwards P shape will be on the left. So it's really easy to keep up with, a little bit easier than some of the other knots that we've done. It's very easy to start a project and then walk away from it and come back and not mess it all up. So I have a tendency to kind of get really confused, and I try to keep up with it, but sometimes you just get, you get going and then you realize 5 knots in that you started on the wrong side, and then you have to go back and undo all of them, and it's a big thing. So I always try to find ways that are easy to remind myself which side I stopped on and which side is next if I have to leave my project. You have 3 cats and 6 kittens. Aww. I love kittens. They're so fun. I love cats too, but there's just something so fun about a kitten because they act so crazy. All right, we've got about 3 beads left here. Ew, gross. Ew, 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 ew. That does not sound like a fun way to spend your afternoon. Ew. Right. Adding my last 2 beads. And then I'm going to show you how to finish this off. And then we're going to make this adjustable. We can talk about some other ways that you can finish this off, but adjustability is always a nice option. So that is how we are going to finish this off. All right, so here's the last one. This is my last bead. So I'm going to do my... I did, Kelly. I did keep her. Her name is Gemma. And she's part of the pack now. She's around here somewhere. We just got her spayed a couple of weeks back, and she's still very young. So her one of her stitches popped open, and fortunately it was like a week after her surgery. So when we talked to the vet was like, just put Neosporin on it and cover it up and keep it dry, keep her from messing with it, and it should heal back up, which it absolutely did very, very quickly. But in order to keep her from messing with it, we put the Neosporin on it, but then we cut a sock. We cut the foot part of a sock off, so now it's just like a band. So we put surgical bandage around her, and then we slid the sock up over the bandage, and so she walked around with with part of a sock on for about 4 or 5 days until it closes back up, which it did, and it's healed beautifully. You would never know now. Her hair's starting to grow back and everything, but it was funny. She walked around with like a little sock corset on for a couple of days. It was hilarious. Okay, so we finished with a bead on the left. So if we were to add another bead, we would make our P shape on the right, right? But we're not. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to finish our, I have a picture, I'll show it to you guys here in a minute. We're going to finish our knot. So, or we're going to do 2 more knots, but we're going to do this without beads. So P shape on the right, okay, just to finish this off. So left cord crosses it over that, goes behind it up through, because remember we started with plain square knot. We're going to finish with plain square knot. So we're going to pull. Okay, and I'm going to do one more square knot. So backwards P shape on the left, crossing over, going behind and up through. So we're actually doing like 1.5 because we had half a knot to start with. All right, now I'm going to do one more. So P shape on the right. Yeah, no, Cora's not in here to help me today. That was so funny. She did not care that we were busy. She just stayed for the entire thing. Putting her little toe beans in the frame and everything. It was funny. All right, finish that off with my square knot. So you can see I have 2 full square knots here to finish. And I did the same thing on the other side. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to melt these ends off so that we just have our core. So we are going to take some scissors. Grab my scissors. Trim. Same thing on this side. Trim. And then we are going to use some flame here to melt these. Let me undo this because always so I can get it a little closer. So the problem with using white cord and melting it is that I don't always get a clean melt, which drives me crazy. I don't like it when it turns black or brown. The trick to that is just to melt it really, really slowly and don't set it on fire, because if you set it on fire, it most definitely is going to turn. Oh, see that one? That one got brown. I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't like it. I also need to trim that one a little bit. Let's melt it a little bit more. I just don't want to get a cast of brown on this white cord. That drives me crazy. The little spot is fine, but see, it just makes it ugly. And it doesn't do that with the other cords, just the white. Ugh, I don't love it, but it is what it is, I guess. No way around it now. Nobody will actually notice it, but I know it's there and it drives me nuts. All right, so we're going to take this off. All right, so this is what we've got, because I did the exact same thing on the other side. So now we are going to take our ends and we're going to crisscross those and make our little section of adjustability. However, let's say you don't want to do that part. Okay, let's say you don't particularly want to make it adjustable. You could on this side thread a button on, right, and tie your button on, and then make a loop on this side with your cords. And I would do that by just doing like an overhand. No, I'd probably do it like this. Do it like that, and then overhand it and bring the knot down really close over here. And then you've got a loop to slide your button through. So you can do that. You can use cord ends, right? You can slide all of these, take a piece of tape, go around all of these together and slide those into a gluable cord end. That always works. And then you can add your hardware. You can use fold over cord ends. Same thing. I would probably cover it with tape too, just to keep it nice and clean. And then do your fold over cord ends, trim your ends off, right? And then you can add your hardware that way. So you have other ways to finish this off if doing adjustability is not your favorite. Also want to show you what the back of this looks like, just so that you can see. Right? The front is this cool zigzag pattern. The back it almost looks like some kind of crochet. Right? So there's obviously a clear front and a clear back. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do adjustable on mine because I think that is a good way to do it. That's the way I did it on this one. Problem is that I don't have another piece of cord to do my macrame with in white. I mean, I don't think I have enough. So we may be doing a really, really short adjustable section. That's fine. That's fine. Let me grab my naughty board. I like to put this part on the naughty board just because it's easy. If you don't have naughty board, macrame board, or just keep doing whatever you were doing, you can also do this on the tying station. But so you're going to take your cords on one side and your cords on the other side, and you're going to run those in opposite directions, right? To create a big old bundle of cords. And then you're going to secure those all together in a big bundle, just like that. Okay. Then you're going to take another piece of cord, either the same kind of cord that you're using or something different if you want to. It makes no difference. I have a little piece of cord, but my cord is only like 8 inches long. I don't think that's going to be enough to do a big section, but we'll do as much as we can. So take your cord and run it underneath, and we're basically just doing the exact same thing we were doing with square knots, right? P shape. Left cord crosses over, goes behind and up through. And you're going to pull these tight. You need to do at least 3. At least 3 to make this secure, full square knots. And you want to pull nice and tight, but not too tight, because you still want these cords to be able to slide and adjust. All right, so backwards P shape on the left, right cord crosses over, goes behind and up through. I'm probably not going to have very many knots here. Slide that over. Okay, so there was one full. Do another. Pull. Do it on the left. This will make 2. Okay. Here's 3. I may be able to get 4 knots total, maybe 5 if I'm lucky, but at least I have 3. Because I could stop here, but it's a little tricky when your cords get super short. I think I can go 1 more. So we'll have at least 5. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. They are seed beads. They are size 6 seed beads, if that was what the question was. I'm sorry, I missed the question, but I think that's what it was. But you can do this with whatever kind of beads you want, okay? Does not have to be seed beads. The biggest thing is that you use beads that will accommodate your cord. So whatever cord you try or you want to use, just make sure it'll fit through your beads. All right, there we go. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knots. 5 knots is fine. I'm going to trim this off and I'm going to melt these ends. And then we will deal with the other ends as well. Okay. And just set that one on fire. Turn it over. We're trying not to set things on fire, right? Just don't, I mean, I love that it melts to itself, but I hate that brown color that it makes. That's kind of icky, but whatever. Okay, taking it off of the naughty board. And now we are going to take all of our ends on either side and we're going to pull. And I want to pull all of the length out, and then I'm going to pull each individual strand just to make sure that I have pulled out all of the slack. There we go. Okay, so now, oh, look at the brown. Blech, don't like that. Now you can either put beads on each one of these cords to, to secure your ends and tie little knots or whatever. For mine, I just bundled them all together and tied an overhand knot, and then that let the knot be the stopper to keep my cords from slipping into my adjustable section. But feel free to do this however you want to do it. If you want to put beads on each one of them and have little dangle-doos, you can do all of that. But just to keep it simple, I'm just going to tie overhanded knot. Uh-oh. It also needs to be, hold on. I made a mess out of that because I didn't get all my cords. So I'm going to undo. It is very light and summery. It's a fun little piece. It's lightweight. You can make an ankle bracelet out of it. You can make full-size necklaces. You can do all kinds of fun things with this little design. And again, you don't have to do adjustable at the clasp. You can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be an adjustable bracelet. All right, there's my knot. And then I'm just going to trim my ends. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side and try to make my knot in the same distance from my bracelet out. And you can obviously use a ruler. I just eyeball it and get it as close as I can get it. It was pretty close. And then pull each individual cord. And then trim. And we are done with it. We have our cute adjustable bracelet. You can open it up to get it on and then just pull your knots to close it back up. Put it on. I think this one's probably a little big for me, but pull it on. It's so cute. It's so cute. And then I have the one that I made as the sample, which was also quite cute. Put this one on too. And there you go. They're so fun. I love them. I love them. They're nice and lightweight. They are a lot of fun to make, and you can use all different kinds of beads. You don't have to put a connector in the middle if you don't want to, but you can. You could put a donut, right? A gemstone donut here if you wanted to, or anything, or nothing at all, and just do the entire bracelet with the beads. I think it's pretty cool. Ari says, I want that bracelet. You can have this one. This one's mine, but you can have this one if you want it. All right, I'm going to turn you guys around. I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's project. I'm going to find you a picture of Gemma in her sock. Hold on. Just to show you. Right? Ari should make some for her shop. She totally should. She's all the time taking stuff that I made. She could just make it herself. Okay. So, trying to find a picture because I had a picture of Gemma in her sock. I had a couple of pictures actually, but let's see if I can find Gemma in her sock. So, yeah, here's Gemma in her sock. She's sitting next to my other kitty, my black and white kitty. You see? So that's the black and white kitty that was on my beading mat. And then there's Gemma with her little sock on. But it worked. It kept her from messing with it, and she healed up and is good as new. She looked kind of funny though. She looks much better now. She doesn't look like that anymore. Let's see. I took a picture of her. Hold on. I took a picture of her sleeping in my blankets last night, so you can see she's happy kitty. She's happy kitty. She likes indoor life. I was a little worried that she was not going to adjust to indoor life, but she did. She did. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me this afternoon. I appreciate you so much. I will be back with you guys on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern for my regular scheduled Feel Good Friday show. Even though it's July 4th, it's still happening. So I'll be doing that. Patreon always open for enrollment. Hardwired is open for enrollment right now, so you've got all week. If you would like to come and be a Hardwired member, you can come and join Hardwired. We would love to have ya. Let's see, anything else I need to tell you guys? I don't think so. I would love to thank everybody who made purchases from my Etsy shop last week. We had record sales last week that you guys, just being honest with you, and you guys know, right? Because you guys are living the same way I'm living, unless you are just super ultra wealthy, and good for you, because that's awesome. But for those of us who are not, and we are living life, paycheck to paycheck or closely to paycheck, you guys know it's a struggle out there, right? The cost of eggs, the cost of bread and milk and gas and all the things, it's crazy. But last week I had record sales, and I just want to thank you guys so much, because it's been a struggle, and I appreciate all of you, because those sales from my shop, those are what quite literally keep the lights on here and make it possible for us to continue to do lives. So I appreciate you so much. Everybody who made purchases for from Ari in her little section of my Etsy shop. Also want to thank you guys too, because you guys, she is going to be the future of this industry. We've got to be reaching those younger beaders out there. And I'm fortunate enough to have one that lives under my roof here, and to try to help empower her, not just as a maker, but as a young entrepreneur. So I appreciate all of you for your support of not just me, but of her as well, and watching her journey as she grows into a maker that is going to, maybe, I don't know what her future holds, but maybe one day she'll step into my shoes, and you guys will be watching her do lives instead of me. So I don't know, but I appreciate all of you very much. Thanks for being an amazing community. So, all right, I'm out of here. I will be back with you guys very soon. Hardwired, we will be seeing each other at 4 p.m. Eastern this afternoon for our weekly project. And then I will see the rest of you guys on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern for our Feel Good Friday show. Have an amazing afternoon and a great Wednesday and Thursday. I love ya. I'll see you soon. Mwah! Bye.